Hey y'all, so I am in the car because the house is slightly hectic with a 5 year old and a almost 3 year old. So, um, I've started using the journal that I have crafted with Source, and I definitely would say that it's led me to a few revelations already. Nothing earth shattering, but certainly things that I need myself to face in order to um, kind of progress from where I'm at. I feel like I'm kind of stuck right here. So I thought I'd walk you through the guided journal itself and um, see what you think. So the first shift was kind of a doozy. It was on the theme was returning home to yourself. So I'm really big into breaking down words into what, or breaking down sentences into what sticks out to me. It helps me understand the context a lot better. And not just that, but it kind of pinpoints what it is that you specifically need to focus on. So, returning home to yourself, if the version of you who feels most at peace could speak to you today, what gentle truth would they offer? So, the words I specifically highlighted, now this is the front and back page. So, this is one shift. So, returning home to yourself. If the version of you, so version of you, the one who feels most at peace, could tell me a gentle truth, what would they offer? And this kind of spiraled me out a little bit because in my head, sometimes in order to get to the specific answer, I have to go all the way around. And a lot of times I end up over explaining myself because I feel like I have to let people know um, the little variables along the story that got to this like funny point or the moral of the story or what have you. And that's actually how I had to go about this specific shift because um, I think it was really personal. And so, if the version of you who feels most at peace could speak to you today, what gentle truth would they offer? So this was my response. Can you allow it to be gentle, or does it need to smack you in the face? How would this truth appear to you? Would you settle into peace and become unmotivated? Or do you have the personality type that you become generous and motivated and um, excel within that space? You know, peace is a, a lot of one thing is it's proper to have a lot of balance because if you have so much peace that everything you just get so complacent and placated by everything being fine that you never strive for that next step. So for me personally, as much as I'm using peace as almost like a carrot in my motivation to like at one point I will get a peaceful spot or what I consider peace. Um, and I think that that's another thing we've got to find the peace along the journey, not just in the results from the hard work. We have to find the peace within the work along the way. Are there subconscious patterns, actions? Are there subconscious actions you might be doing or avoiding that limit the free flow of peace? I think there's a lot of hard things, heavy things that come um, as a hurdle before you're able to achieve peace, like true peace, inner peace, like sitting on a beach and just having a moment. Like for some people, that's a lot harder than other people, especially like, for instance, if you're a young mother or a father. I mean, anybody. I mean, life is just so full of all of those ups and downs that peace is just, it needs to be achieved along the way. It can't just be the end result. When is the last time you truly felt at peace? This is what I mean, where I had to run a circle, a full circle around the question before I was able to manage to answer if the version of you who feels most at peace could speak to you today, what gentle truth would they offer? And finally, I got to it. They would say, practice self-acceptance, accept the uncontrollable, unconditionally accept others while maintaining boundaries, which the last part, it's hard. It is hard to maintain balance. You know what I mean? Like, on one hand, you've got other people's and their behaviors that you can't control, and you've got your own expectations for your life and how that is impacted. But at some point, you've got to maintain that boundary, a healthy boundary for the both of you. And at what point is someone giving so much of themselves and the other person isn't reciprocating, that you've got to figure out the next step. And sometimes that's wrapped in a really uncomfortable feeling, and one that I myself have a difficult time with. So I was able to come to those conclusions: the practice self-acceptance, accept the uncontrollable, and unconditionally accept others while maintaining boundaries, after the second prompt. So the second prompt is an envision prompt. It's right here. And it says, if you let that peaceful version of you guide one decision today, how might it soften your journey ahead? And this, I had to sit with this one for a minute, because I was like, I had such a hard time envisioning my life peaceful from the perspective of where I was at yesterday when I filled this out. And I think it's because of I broke it down to those three things. I have a hard time with self-acceptance. I have a hard time accepting what I can't control, or not knowing what's in the future. And a lot of the world today, a lot of our lives today, is accepting the fact that we don't know shit, and as far as I'm concerned. But, truth is, truth is where you're getting it. I guess where you're getting it from these days. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't trust anybody. Can I get a hallelujah? I mean, y'all, I don't know if it's the hat that gives me like, don't trust the government vibes. But I feel it. I feel it today. So I was able to really dissect the first shift exercise with the second. It helped unfold and really get down to the nitty gritty of what I was mentally doing gymnastics around. Now, the third exercise is, what contributing factors, internal or external, seem energetically tied to this message? So, for me personally, I have a problem tying or equating loneliness with inadequacy. I think all this returns to personal beliefs and past expectations that have been whittled away by disappointment after disappointment, that it's hard for even the most towering pillar of optimism to not have their pessy days, not have their days where they're just like filled with pessimism because the world is just shit on them all the time, taking advantage of them, and just, I feel like people who are typically, they try to elude that they're optimistic, they're happy, they're rays of sunshine, they want to brighten other people's days. Who's out here making sure they're all right? Who is out here saying, hey, I know you're normally sunny and happy and you don't normally ask for anything, but are you doing okay? I mean, I feel like, people can't read our minds. And I understand that, but it's hard when as a child, you were raised to be independent and be quiet and accept what others had in mind for you. So I guess not independent at all. Very dependent, I should say. As a female, especially, I was raised to be dependent and have no opinion or outward motivation outside of having a family. And I'm having a hard time a little bit with identity now as an adult. I'm almost in my 40s. With knowing with knowing the fact that I need to be independent. No, at this point I've learned that I can't rely on anybody else but myself when it comes down to the nitty. And that's not supposed to be something that is hurtful to anyone or to be taken personal, but that's the truth. If you want something done right, sometimes you just got to do it yourself. And if you're not being loved right, sometimes you got to love yourself the right way. And I put my affirmation, which is the last exercise, on the left side of the journal spread. I said, I'm unwound. No tether is anchor, and I perceive connection as blessing, not inevitable pain. And that was a revelation where I was like, whoa. Like when I wrote, I perceive connection as a blessing, not inevitable pain, it totally reversed how I have been seeing it. Because to me, like every connection this far, and that's certainly not every connection, but the majority of connections this far I've had throughout my life, I hate to say it, have been generally pretty damn disappointing. And that could be from fault of my own. I'm not good at maintaining long-term relationships, yes, but long-term friendships, not so much. That's neither here nor there. But I personally don't know how to make people. I don't get what makes people give a shit. I don't think I've never been able to make anybody give a shit. Like, I've tried my damnedest with art to make people give a shit in my life. And it's like, I think that's just a theme that's part of my life, that it's like, I'm just constantly going to be chasing some sort of respect, because as a child, I was just told I didn't deserve any because the body I was put in. And goddamn it, I love my body. So, as a tiny female that has a big ass brain and a big ass heart that's kind of been like cooled down a little bit, life's hard, so I got a journal. On the other side of the journal, it's pretty cool. It's got a what wheel. So ask, what did you feel like creating? What sparked inspiration today? What was the overall theme? What recurring patterns were triggered? What is a small actionable step towards achieving your best life? What is one self-judgment that should be left behind? And the end of day reflections, I put, it's been a day. Existence feels heavy, particularly so. today. Looking back on the day, it's silly. It was gorgeous. I'm just eager to make a change in people's lives while discovering myself in the meantime. I think I'm just, we all live in the future. Our heads in the clouds, and I don't know. If you want to follow me, help me figure my shit out, and maybe figure your shit out along the way. It'd be great. Bye, guys.